Hey guys, it's Dan here again from Your Guitar Academy, and I'm back thanks to the amazing guys at Guitar Control. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Carlos Santana. I'm going to show you a specific riff, or a lick I should say, as well as just give some insight as to how to get his sound in terms of tone, as well as scales that you can use and just general vibe towards your playing. So first up, this is what we're going to be trying to play. Okay, so let's start with the actual setup in terms of guitar and pedals and whatever we'll use. Now, this is not this is how you set your gear up like Santana. I'm showing you how I got this sound for this video. Okay, so this is how I got my sound. So I've got kind of like a PRS copy thing here from Vintage. It's a really cool guitar. Obviously, it's got two humbuckers, and I'm very much using the bridge pickup. Now it's already quite a bassy sounding guitar, and on top of that I'm using, I'm going straight into my Kemper, which is great, and through that I'm taking this amplitude pedal, this X drive, where I've got an overdrive tone, so an overdrive essentially, but it's quite scooped, so really, really heavy on the middles. That's what gives that kind of sound. So almost kind of Clapton-esque as well from Cream, right? But you know, that kind of Santana, smooth Santana tone. Maybe you think of it more as like his kind of 90s, 2000s kind of tone. That's what I was really kind of going for there. I think it's a great sound. It really helps play with this, certainly with a fair bit of compression and overdrive, especially when you come to these bits. You can hear when I'm rolled off, that's quite hard to achieve. So let's just kind of go through the idea behind this lick. Now, Santana generally plays using a mode called Dorian. So for example, if this is our kind of groove, right? Let's just move off that pickup. Now, this is basically a progression going from A minor. Let's just clean that up for a second so we're not too much overdriven. So we've got kind of a progression from A minor to D. Okay, now that's a typical Dorian style progression, okay? Because normally if it was in the key of A natural minor, you'd get an A minor to a D minor, okay? Because that's the one, then the two would be your diminished, then you'd have the three as the major, the four as the minor. So a 1 to 4 in a minor key is normally a minor to a minor. Now, when you change that and make it a minor to a major, you're changing the flat third here, which is the F note, to an F sharp. Now, as soon as you do that, you move it into this Dorian sound, okay? Because the A Dorian is basically a G major scale, but starting and ending on the A. Okay, so that's the first thing to say. We got to have the, rather than just your natural minor, we've got that raised sixth in there. Now that's a very brief introduction to Dorian, all right? But it's those kind of progressions, that A minor to a major 4, that really make it sound Dorian, okay? And from that that standpoint, you can then go in and start using a kind of Dorian scale, okay? So in this instance, what we'd want to do is we'd want to take our pentatonic as a bass. So imagine I've got my pentatonic box 4 in A minor. Okay, so I've got that box 4. And from there, what I want to start doing is adding the extra notes to make it a Dorian scale. So I'm going to add in the second. Okay. Now instantly you can hear, as soon as I add in that second, if I just play just a basic progression here. I'm just going to layer that up a little bit. Okay. Now if I just take the pentatonic, sounds really cool. The chords are doing a lot of the work for me there. So now let's bring in that second degree as well. Okay, second degree starts to make it sound more minor. Okay. adds a new flavour to it, which I really like. Okay, then we can bring in the sixth, so the raised sixth, the natural sixth, rather than the minor sixth. Okay, that's when we start to get this sound. Okay, there's the raised sixth, and there's the raised sixth there. Okay, so all together you get a scale shape that looks like this. 3, 4. So maybe some of the keen-eyed amongst you who maybe have taken some of our courses or whatever will think, oh, do you know what, that just looks like the minor scale, but starting from E minor. Which it does, but of course the fact that we're starting from A will make this an A Dorian scale. So I like to do it from the point of view of starting with my A minor pentatonic and then working up from there, adding in the key notes that you need to add. And that's how we've done it here, right? So with that in mind, and remember, we go into this in great detail in our full Carlos Santana player study, okay, which you can find at yourguitaracademy.com. And that's going to really help you get to the real deep end of this, okay? But as an introduction, I thought that was hopefully just about okay. Watch that as many times as you need. But with that knowledge, with that scale shape, we can create the lick. So the lick, if I now add the kind of gain to this as well, sounds more like this. So there's a few things going on here, a few techniques which are really, really fun. So first things first, we are using that scale shape. Okay. So this is all Dorian notes, okay? This is all Dorian, A Dorian, right? So what we need to be doing is we're going to slide into that high E note. Just slide into there. And from that point on, we've got this. So all we're doing here is we're going from 15, 14 to 12. And we're doing it twice round, and there's a little bit of a delay on the first note each time. So we've got hold, pull off, hold, pull off. And then the third time we do it is all quick. Okay, it's like a triplet. 1, 2, 3. So we've got hold, pull off, triplet. Hold, pull off, triplet. So if we slow it right down. And notice it's all in the legato, isn't it? I'm just picking it once, twice, 3 times. So even though I'm playing 9 notes, I'm only picking it 3 times. Okay, so it's all in that legato. If we just try to do that bit with a slower version of the backing track, let me just get a nice clean version of that jam, right? So nice and slowly, let's try this. Still quite quick at that speed, isn't it? Okay, we're going to have to go even slower. We're going to have to go even slower. Yeah, let's try this. So it is hard to get down to those speeds because this lick is designed to be a speedy lick, okay? So, but the key thing is that you can kind of break it down into those little sections. So we can hear the repeat. 1, 2, 3, like that, okay? So that's the first part of the lick. From that point on, you move into something called tremolo picking, and Santana loves his tremolo picking. So tremolo picking is you just got to get moving with your right hand, okay? So notice when I'm tremolo picking, I'm not really picking from the wrist as much as I usually am. That's my normal kind of picking situation. With tremolo picking, it's a lot more movement from the kind of arm. Okay, and that's how I do it. I don't know if that's the way everyone does it, but that's how I do it. So when I want to do tremolo picking, the movement comes from the arm, as if it's a very fast strum, but obviously very rigid. So there's no kind of loosey-goosey here. It's quite rigid with the right hand, and I'm having that movement, okay? And then all I'm doing is just one beat at a time, going from the 15, 17, 19 to 20. So really, when it comes to tremolo picking, you don't count this hand. All you count is what you're doing with the left hand. So you're just gonna, in this case, you're just going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the equivalent going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? But of course, the right hand is just moving. It's just moving. Okay, so if you hear that with a little bit of gain, you can go all the way up there, really. So you need to combine those two parts of the lick together, all right? So I'm just going to play it for you once now, a little bit slower, and I'll do it clean as well, so you can really hear how it's kind of sounding clean, and I'll do it with the backing track, but let's just do a little bit quicker than that. So another little layer on that for fun. One just because I like it. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my lick. Okay. So a little tip there, when you're going into that tremolo picking, you've just got to go. You just got to go. You've got to lose what you were doing before and just go into it. Okay. Like that, okay? So there we have it, there's that lick. There's a couple of tips about how you might want to play like Santana. Remember, we've got that full player study where we go into depth with the Dorian, the tremolo picking, his kind of unique vibrato, or lack of vibrato I should say, and a little bit about his tone and just how to get it all together so you really understand that and can take it into your own playing. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you next time.